Hello and welcome to this course on R Analytics by White Knight Ventures. In this course, we will be going through the following topics in R. In the beginning, we will look at how to install R as a software on your system. Then we will be moving into the basic numeric functions, importing of data files into R and other operators that are there in the basics section. Further down, we move into the intermediate section where we will be introducing packages such as the deep layer package, moving into looping, data visualization, which is one of the key aspects of R and probably one of the strengths of R apart from statistical analysis. And in the advanced levels, we will be looking at topics such as probability distributions, hypothesis testing, GLM, which is generalized linear models, credibility theory, survival models, etc. in R, and how we handle these topics in R broadly. Fine. So let us first start with what R actually is. It is a programming language which is primarily used by people for statistical analysis, data analytics, visualization, and other such things. It is an open source, thus it is free for all, which is one of the main USPs of R. Two things, as I've already mentioned earlier, one is statistical analysis and the other is data visualization, which are comparatively pretty powerful in this software as compared to other softwares that are there in the market currently. The main steps that anyone would follow in analysis of any sort, be it statistical analysis, be it data analysis, any sort of analysis, is first to import the data, that is to acquire the data that one needs to analyze. Once you have acquired the data and imported it, you need to clean the data in order to make your data error free or glitch free, because if you're analyzing data which has errors in it, which has issues in it, obviously the analysis that you might conduct and hence the inference that you might make might not be correct. Another thing is manipulating data, which is the fact that a lot of times you might have a lot of data at hand. For example, if it is a life insurance company, they might have hundreds of fields for the policy holder that they might want to capture in the beginning. However, when you're doing an analysis, you might not want all those 100 fields at one go. You might just want the first 30 fields or some 20 fields or 40 fields for your analysis purpose. It is important for you to manipulate the data in such a manner that you get only those parts of the data which you need to analyze upon rather than the whole raw data set that you have. However, bear in mind that do not tamper with the raw data that is there. Keep it as it is, because you might want the fields later on in some other analytical purpose if you're not wanting them right now also. Once you have cleaned the data and manipulated the data, first step towards analytics is the exploratory data analysis, also known as EDA, where you visualize the data to see if you can look at any hidden patterns or trends that are there in the data, any sort of relationship between variables that's there which can be seen through graphs or charts, and then get into your testing of hypothesis based on whatever your theoretical understanding of the data is and the visualization of data that it gives you an idea about. And once you have done your hypothesis testing, you have fitted the parameters and models, you need to then check the model for the fit and then use it for prediction. Alright, so this is the basic idea or basic flow of what we are also going to do in every topic that we go ahead when we move into the advanced section. First and the foremost thing is that we will learn how to install R. So when you're installing R, you have to install two things. One is known as the R console and the other is known as RStudio. R console is the basic software package that has to be there on your system for your commands to be run and for your codes to be able to be executed. RStudio is basically the interface that is there in which we will do the coding. The main difference between R console and RStudio is that you can do coding in R console as well. However, you will not be able to save them for future references in R format. However, if you write it in a script in the RStudio, you can save that script for future reference. For example, if you're working on a project which might go on for weeks or months, you might want to go back and revisit certain codes that you had written earlier, which would be then handy if you have an R script from the RStudio to do so. Another thing that is available in RStudio is that you can go back and change your codes and assumptions that you might have made earlier in the project, but as you moved forward in the project, you realize that you had to change those codes that were there at the beginning of the project, which was helpful when the coding is done in R script rather than in R console. Once we download both and when we start working, you will be able to understand the major differences very easily. So first, It is a freely available software from the comprehensive R archive network, CRAN. CRAN is basically the server from where we will be downloading these softwares, and also later on when we will be requiring certain packages and functions which might not be there by default in R, we might install it from these servers. The website that we will look at is r-project.org. I'd like to just show you. This is how it looks, r-project.org. Once you enter into this, click on this link CRAN. As I said, select the option CRAN in the left panel. Then you have to choose basically one of the servers. I have chosen the one under USA. You can choose it depending upon your country over here. We used to have India also earlier, but right now it is not there available over here. We had a server in IIT Madras. All right, so I'll be choosing University of California, Berkeley, and I click on this. So this is basically the server that I have chosen for me to download R on my system. Once you have done that, choose your link to download based on the operating software. As you can see that there are 3 versions available, one for Linux, one for Mac, and one for Windows. Depending upon which software operating software you're using, please click on the correct version. Once you click, as I have clicked for R for Windows, since I'm using a Windows laptop, you have to choose the base version and download this. All right. Click on base. Once you have downloaded it, and when you start the installation process, you will see that there will be an option for you to choose whether you want to tick the 32-bit box or the 64-bit box. Depending upon the configuration of your system, please untick 32-bit box if your system is a 64-bit box, and rest of the boxes remain ticked. If it is a 32-bit system, then untick the 64-bit system and let other boxes remain ticked. Clear? Similarly, once you have installed R console, we will go ahead and download RStudio. RStudio, as I have already said, it is an IDE for R, basically the user interface where you can do all your coding, and it helps us write programs and scripts, as I said, which can be saved also for use later on. The website from where you can download this is rstudio.com/products/rstudio/download. Again, as your console, this is also a free software, so you do not need to pay anything to download this. Clear? These are some of the basic tests, statistical tests in R that we can do. Some samples that I have just taken snapshots of for you to see. We will obviously be looking at these carefully and trying to interpret all of them when we move into the advanced section. Similarly, these are some of the graphs that we can make using certain packages and functions in R, and thus it shows you the power of visualization in R. Once you have installed and downloaded and installed the R console and RStudio, first and the foremost important thing is that we need to learn how to install a package in R. Now you might ask, what is a package? A package is nothing but a collection of functions and data. So since it's an open source, people all around the world keep adding their functions and packages into R, and these packages are then used by people using R to perform these functionalities on their data sets. All right. So if I want, say, 10 functions which are there in a certain package, I will download that package from the server, install that on my system, and then use the functions within that package to conduct my analysis. Clear? So that's what a package is, and they are stored in your library. You can write .libpaths open close brackets, which will show you where your library is saved on the system. Please make sure when you're writing these codes in R that the case is the same as it is mentioned here. So you can see in libpaths, except P, all of them are in lowercase and P is in uppercase. R is a case sensitive software, so we need to make sure that we are careful of the cases that are there when we are passing our commands. Similarly, if we write library open close brackets, we can see all the packages that are installed in R by default. When you download R base version, you will see that certain packages are already there in your library, and some of the packages you will see in our course we will download also as and when required. Let me show you how the RStudio looks like. When you download your RStudio and you open RStudio, you will see something like this on your system. This window, this part of the window is known as the console. This is the R console that you had downloaded. All right. This is known as the environment area, and this is the place where you can see your packages that are there in your system right now. You can also see the plots or graphs that you will make whenever you make some. Okay. Now, you can obviously do your coding in the console. Like I write library, open and close, and I press enter. The moment I do that, you can see that it is showing me the libraries that are there in my system as of now. All right. It is showing me the libraries that are there in my system right now. Similarly, if I write .lib paths, open close, and I press enter, it shows me that this is where my library is saved in my system. Okay. Now, as I said, we will not be doing our coding in the console. You can see if I want to remove this lib paths, I can't edit it. I can't edit the codes that are already passed in the console. So what I had recommended was that we will use R scripts instead. To open a new R script, I click on this small arrow and I select R script. You can do that by pressing Ctrl plus Shift plus N also. Now if I write library and I want to execute this code, I will press Ctrl plus Enter. Ctrl plus Enter. If you want to execute a command in your script, you need to press Ctrl plus Enter. If you want to execute a command in your console, you have to press only Enter. So see, the moment I press Ctrl plus Enter, it again gives me the list of packages available in my system. And the moment I write lib paths, open close, and I press Ctrl plus Enter, you can see it gives me the output in the console. The output will never come in the script. It will always come in the console. Clear? Now, let us try and install some packages in R, or let's install one package only, and I'll show you different methods of doing that. First method is by writing the command install packages. All right, install packages, and then we write the name of the package. Say I want to install the package dplyr. Okay, and the moment I do this, I press Ctrl plus Enter. Since I already have this package in my system, I'm not pressing Ctrl plus Enter right now. But the moment I do this, it will start installing the package. One thing you have to make sure is that when you are installing any package from R, you need to have an internet connection that is active at that point in time. Clear? Now, if I don't want to execute this command right now, but I still want to keep it on my system in my script, because it might so happen that I use it later on, I can just simply add a hash command to it or a hash to it. What this does is it converts any sort of command into a comment. Now this becomes a text comment with R, and we can then move forward and do our codings for rest of them. R will not execute this command till and until I remove my hash and I press Ctrl Enter on it. Clear? So first method of installing a package was this. Another is you can go on to install over here, and you can write the name of the package. See, I write dplyr and I get dplyr over here and I press install. Clear? And the third method is I go to tools and I write install, click on install packages, and again I get the same dialog box as I got from here. Now once you have installed a package, the task does not end here. Once you have installed the package, it has come into your library. But to use that package, you need to activate that package or load that package in R. To activate that package, the command that you have to pass is library, and in that you write the name of the package. As you saw when I was writing the name of the package dply, I got a prompt, and this icon shows that this is a package. It's a P in purple. So I select on it and I press Ctrl Enter. The moment I press Ctrl Enter, it says it has activated this dplyr package. The other way to see whether the package is activated or not, you can go here and you see that this tick box has a tick in it. That means this package is activated. You can see, suppose there's a package called corplot. It is not activated right now. I can activate it by clicking over here as well. Clear? So these are the methods of installing a package in R and activating a package in R. Clear? It is a very, very important part of understanding, because we will be looking at various packages in the coming classes, where we will be installing certain packages which might not be there in your system by default. Clear? That is it for this video for now. I hope all of you are able to install R console and RStudio on your systems, and please try and download the package that I just tried here, dplyr, also called dplyr. We will be using that later on, so that you get hands-on with these codes and commands. Thank you.